I was once a person who would brightly answer Forever 21 whenever somebody would ask me what I was wearing, and why wouldn't I? For the most part, all I knew was that Forever 21 was fun, cheap, supplied my wardrobe with a hit of runway, inspired trends every season, but lately it feels more like a guilty pleasure rather than something to brag about. It is hard to ignore the evidence of the negative environmental and social impacts of fast fashion and all the stores that aggressively create cheap clothes that are not only 1 week trends but also have 1 week life expectancies for the cheap materials big companies are using. More than fast fashion is a term used by fashion retailers to describe inexpensive designs that move quickly from the catwalk to stores to meet new trends. In the 20th centuries, clothing collections were released depending on the season they were directed to, such as winter, spring, summer, and fall. Before fashion became accessible to the masses, it was prescribed to high society. But now some stores release multiple collections per week, which recreates overconsumption from the masses as well as this thought of we are out of trends as soon as we see them being worn. More than 60% of all fabrics are now synthetics, derived from social fossil fuels. So, if and when our clothing ends up in a landfill, it will not decay, nor will the synthetic microfibers that end up in the sea, fresh water, and elsewhere, including the deepest parts of the ocean and highest glacier peaks. In Fashionopolis, Dana Thomas, a veteran style writer, convincingly connects our fast fashion wardrobes to global economy and climate patterns and crisis. Throughout, Thomas reminds us that the textile industry has always been one of the darkest corners of economy, and our worldwide capitalist system abuses something that was doomed to happen, considering that for cheap clothes, a company also needs cheap work. It is much cheaper to produce clothes in third world countries like China, Mexico, Bangladesh than in the US, where the unionized labor and workplace when there is unionized labor and workplace protections. Consequently, manufacturing manufacturing moved away from America. Some companies have been exposed for the bad treatment that they give their workers. Stores like H&M have been called out for using child labor. Sweatshops and lots of women working for these companies get sexually and physically abused, and they work for 12 hours a day for only 15 cents an hour. They also claim to be eco-friendly, but the fashion industry is one of the top 5 most polluting globally. And since H&M is a fast fashion brand, they are playing a huge part on destroying the planet. H&M is also owned by one of the richest people in the world, which is Horacio Ortega, a person who gains money from the expenses of their slaves and the environment itself. There's plenty of stores that have a fast fashion policy and that we might not even know about. Some normal stores as supermarkets could be like Walmart or Target, and some normal stores where clothes is the main part of the store, like Topshop, Zara, Forever 21, ASOS, Urban Outfitters, PacSun, Uniqlo play a huge role in the on this fast fashion business and destroying the ecosystem and millions of lives. Also, there is internet fast fashion retailers such as Zaful or Yes Style, which are really low quality items that could cost you $1 or even less. Fast fashion is an inhuman industry, in where the rich benefit from the poor and collects fame and fortune, meanwhile destroying the ecosystem. They also trick the public with greenwashing promotions that trick the consumer into believing that these industries are doing something sustainably. But the truth is, if this price is too good to be true, then somebody else is paying for it. And all of this is also fault of the consumers themselves because of this quick response method, which was developed to improve the manufacturing processes in the textile industry with the aim of removing time from production systems. So they took away all they cannot even check if a button is right. They just have the product in their hands and they just wrap it and sell it as fast as they can, because if somebody else sells it, then they're losing money, they're losing people, and that's not good for them. But the truth is that slow fashion can also be a way to approach the negative side of fashion, because slow fashion, even though it does harm the environment, you can have a piece of clothing for years and you will never wear it out, because these high quality clothing items are meant to be forever, unlike the fast fashion and these trends people keep trying to follow just to fit in. Again, if the price is too good to be true, then somebody else is paying for it.